Oh, good job. So we're out here with Mocha this morning, trying to get some practice in outside before the rain. Luckily, with his training, once it does start raining, we'll be able to still practice inside, either at the pet store or the department store. The main focus for this walk is going to be getting him used to the head halter, trying to have it on for an extended period of time, and then redirecting him if necessary. We'll give him breaks if needed, but we mostly want him to just not pull and not let it bother him until he's actually pulling. So I'm going to be trying to stick with him as much as possible. Good boy, good sit. And during our walks, we'll just be practicing his name and sit command for a treat, just to get him used to that recall as well as his name. Good boy, good job. Okay. Another thing as well, good, is, yes, good, rewarding him when he sees something, whether it be a dog or a person that he's interested in going to, and instead holds, and even better, redirects his focus back to us and sits down for a treat. The sitting down part is optional, but definitely all we're looking for to avoid is for him to just see a person or a dog and start pulling towards them. So that was really good there, and that was why I rewarded that. Okay. Trying to rotate pups as much as possible before the rain today. Luckily it's not too hot out, so he's gonna be pretty good. But I'll probably just do maybe a couple blocks and then give him a little break, so that way he gets a break from the muzzle still, but I really want him to get used to having it on, so that way he's not just trying to take it off and it doesn't bug him so much. Good boy up here. Just because he has it on. Good boy. Want it to be just as comfortable for him as his harness is, and for him to get used to it. The only time it should bother him is when he starts pulling. So that's why we're trying to keep it as loose as possible by kind of going along with him. And the walk also may take a little bit longer too, because I'll be allowing him to kind of stop wherever he wants to smell. Then this neighbor doesn't like the dogs in the yard, so all we'll do is just initiate a little bit of that pressure there, so that way he doesn't go in their yard, right? So we kind of make that boundary with the leash. Good boy. Same here. There you go. Good boy. Yes. Good job. See some neighbors over there. Good. And carrying on. Good. So we're really doing our best to try to only utilize, he's got poo there, try to utilize that leash pressure only when we need it to avoid this, right? Because we're still trying to get him used to having it on. Good boy. So I'll let him work through it a little bit, recognizes that he can't take it off, and then just gives up. If it's bothering him for too long, I'll either ask him to sit for me and I'll give him a treat and try to have him focus on me for a bit, or give him a little bit of a break from having it on, continue with the walk for 5 minutes, and then put it back on to him. He's doing really good though. Good. So he sees the neighbor getting the lawnmower. Good. Good boy. Good job, big guy. He hears a bunch of pups off in the distance here. Good boy. Got a neighbor coming by here. See if he pulls towards him or not. Morning, how you doing?
Excellent. How about yourself?
Doing good.
You got a new puppy already.
This is Mocha.
Hello, Mocha. Is Mocha friendly?
Yeah, good boy. Yeah, is he? There you go. Good boy. Perfect. Okay. And that's what we're looking for, is a nice, slow, easy approach in, not pulling us to him, anything like that. Good boy. If he seemed too excited, I would have redirected him and asked him to sit. But no, he did just fine. He was a little unsure, and then he got sure, so that was okay. You can usually tell by his small tail there starting to get excited. If he just freezes and completely tenses up, that may mean that he might need some more time before the person approaches. Thank you. Good. Good boy. Good job, big guy. Good. So when we're out, usually in our social events, what I would do is when he sees somebody and they're interested, I would redirect him first, right? And having him focus on me, and then talk to the person, and then I would release him. But in this case, because it's towards the end of his stay, and I just wanted to make sure that he kind of see what he does naturally. Good boy. Hi, how you doing? Good. Come on, big guy. They gotta go back in. Sorry, he's distracting him. Come here, big guy. So what I'll use here is some leash pressure to get him going. Good boy. I know. Good boy. And then we'll add in his name. Good boy, Mocha. Yes, good boy, and sit. Good. Yes, good boy, there you go. All right, good. How you doing? We'll try to always move out of everybody's way. There you go. Good boy. Okay, just stop and wait at the crosswalks and just use the leash pressure here. Yes, good boy. Wait until he refocuses. All right, good. And then we'll start walking again. Good job. Kind of like Ruthie and a lot of dogs, he likes to try to hustle through the intersection. Slowed him down a little bit. If it wasn't a busier time during the day, we could do some practices in slowing him down back and forth. But because I'm just trying to really focus on him getting used to having the head halter on, I'm not going to utilize it too much right there for the practice. If we were going to practice him slowing down in the intersection, I'd either attach it back onto just his only his neck collar, or even his harness, just to get him to kind of focus and slow down. Boy. You silly. You're silly. Let him enjoy a little roll break. Good boy. Just taking the time while we're out, and sometimes too when we're inside, just to get him used to having that thing on his face. Good job, big guy. Oh, bless you. All right, so now that he's up, I'm gonna go ahead and start guiding him again by walking. We'll go ahead and get to this crosswalk and we'll practice stopping again. Okay, a little bit of leash pressure there, you saw? Good. Good. Okay. And then when he pays attention again, start going. Good boy. Okay. Starts going a little bit too fast, use a little bit of tension there. Relax the tension as soon as he slows down. Good boy. Very good. He likes to mark a lot, so what makes it a little bit easier is recognizing that and then moving towards those things early, so that way he doesn't just hit the leash pressure because you're almost there. And then of course, opposed to that, if you wanted him to kind of maintain focus on you, recognizing like the trees or poles or shrubs that may be a distraction to him and pulling him further away from those things and pulling his attention back up towards you. Doing that earlier will make it easier. Okay. Good boy. And once again, just letting him have all the time in the world that he needs to smell and mark things as we're walking. Okay? Because I only want to use that leash pressure when he is pulling me as much as possible. We'll use it a little bit here and there for some boundaries and some guidance. But I really want him to kind of recognize that that pressure and that uncomfortableness is going to be kind of directly correlated to him pulling on the leash. Same thing here. Giving him plenty of time to smell and mark, and then I start moving as soon as he gets uninterested. If for any reason, of course, he starts pulling into the bush too deep and I can't see if he's possibly getting into something he shouldn't, then I'll use the leash pressure to guide him back out. Good boy. He really doesn't linger for too long for the most part, and this is just a great way to make the walk a lot more enjoyable for the both of you. He's not constantly having to pull towards things that he wants to smell, and you're not constantly getting tugged on because he's constantly trying to pull towards things he's trying to smell. Good boy. Okay, so we just circle back a little bit there. Okay, got another crosswalk coming up. I'm gonna do the same thing. You might want to try to get that pole. Oh, okay, good. Got another car coming, so what we'll do is we'll pull back a little bit, allow them to go first while he's still smelling and exploring things and all distracted. And then we'll try again. Oh, that was a good distraction there. We'll try again as soon as he's ready to move. And you got another car coming too. Good. So trying not to be awkwardly awaiting at the crosswalk if we don't have to be. Good boy, and he just takes advantage of it. Okay, so we're gonna stop here. Good boy, yes. Now we're gonna go again. Yes, there we go, good job. Okay, and that's perfect. He's getting a lot more sensitive to responding quickly because of that pressure. And so we're able to release that pressure a lot faster too. did really well throughout his stay. It's funny because the neighbor, I guess, only ran into us when I was out walking with either Ruthie or Lana, and I didn't even notice because he thought that Mocha was new. He'll get to see the new pup, Daisy, hopefully on a walk sometime as well. That one will be a little bit more obvious because after these last two, Miss Lana and Mr. Mocha leave in the beginning of this week, it'll just be me and her walking around the neighborhood. Usually that makes it a little bit more apparent. Good boy. Yes, good job. Making sure that there's nobody coming while he's kind of distracted and or waiting. I'm guiding him a little bit back onto the grass here, back onto the sidewalk. And then looking up ahead, I see that there's a sign that says to keep off the grass. So I'm just gonna make sure that we use leash pressure appropriately to keep him off of the yard. May not even need it. Here, we'll keep him off this side of their yard too, just in case. Yeah, good boy. Just slowly continued to walk, and you felt that pressure. But yeah, our walks throughout the neighborhood and at the stores have been pretty calm. Every now and then he'll get excited and pull to get to another pup, but that's pretty rare. Also depends greatly on how the pup is behaving. It's usually when they're also barking and trying to play and get him to go to him. But he redirects and focuses and waits well in those circumstances. We'll be practicing those situations probably the most during the final evaluation with him in the training review. Just because situations like this should be very manageable for him. Good boy. We'll make another round up and over. Try to make it about a 30-minute walk or so. And then we'll have Miss Lana take her turn while he gets some water and a little bit of a break. He's doing really well though. Still remember when we first tried the head halter on, couldn't get very far without him trying to take it off the whole time. He's a lot more used to it now. Good boy. And we'll let this car go first. We'll let him smell. We'll use the boundary. Good boy. Some light pressure. Stop again one more time. Good boy, yes. Wait for him to focus. Good boy. Everything's still clear. Go ahead. And this is what we want. We want him to be comfortable having that kind of gear on and only uncomfortable when we need it to be, which is when, you know, he either suddenly pulls or when he pulls hard. Most of the time it should be nice and loose. Oh, we gotta go get a, luckily we're near the bag station, so we're gonna run over and get another bag. Yeah, those stations usually usually say to take just one bag at a time. I think it'd probably be more preferable to at least take 2 or 3, just in case they either do, you know, multiple number 2s during a trip, which I've had some pups do every now and then. And then also just that way you have a spare in case you're too far away from a station. All right, good boy, yep. So just giving him some leash pressure to let him know that I'm going back across the street here to throw this away. Good boy. Always important to be responsible and to pick up. Lots of kids running and playing in the neighborhood. And of course, nobody likes to step in a dog's mess. So. Good boy. He's doing really good though. The head halter's only bothered him maybe a couple times so far. And he hasn't pulled very often at all, even to get to things this mark. And so, oh, this lawn is also another one we'll be trying to keep him away from because of the sign there. Good. And all I'll do is just either wrap the leash up in my hand so that way he can't get to it without that leash pressure happening, or I'll just take a few steps towards the right side or the left side, whatever opposite side is, so that way the leash will automatically get tight when he gets too close to the other way. And that's just something that just gets picked up over time. You'll think about it at first, kind of creating that boundary with the leash, making it loose, wrapping around, making it tight, moving. But after a while, it just becomes second nature. Also, it kind of gives you something proactive to do while walking him as well. Good boy. Yeah, very thankful today that it's not so hot out. He's only been able to do kind of like 15 to 30 minutes max out in like the 80, 90 degree heat before needing a break and some water and some shade. He definitely overheats. Him and Lana with their black coats can definitely overheat a lot faster. You just want to really be careful, especially during the summertime. Oh yeah, like I said, today, luckily, it's gonna finally rain anytime now. So we got a nice little cool breeze, plenty of shade. Good boy. And so even though I have less extra room on the leash because I've wrapped it up, I'm still being able to keep it nice and loose for him. This is almost more of like a, bless you, almost more like in a heel position at this point. So this yard is fine, so I'm gonna go ahead and let him smell, let him pee, and keep going. Good boy. Starting to get pretty windy out, so hopefully the audio isn't too bad. Good boy. Especially while walking, it's probably preferable to have him more towards the right side in what I would probably consider more neutral territory of the yard, as opposed to further in towards the property. So just making it so he can't go any further. Good boy. I wonder if that's the same shopping cart that's in our neighborhood or a different one. It's definitely far away from home. Good boy. Oh, perfect. There's a squirrel there. And he did not see it because he was busy trying to mark up the pole. We'll see if he recognizes it as we're walking past. Some dogs are very interested in squirrels and rabbits. And luckily we have a few of those around the neighborhood. We'll see how much it drives him from what I've seen and the couple times that we've ran into him. He doesn't get too excited, but it's always another good opportunity to make sure that he doesn't pull towards something. Okay, good. So just making sure that leash boundary is set. Can't keep going too far into the woods there or through the pine cones. Okay. Good boy. And then there's our boundary. Good. Good boy. Gonna extend the boundary, take a couple steps with him to prevent him from pulling to get to the tree, and then back out. Same here, taking a couple steps in, and then back out. So I'm not alternating my plans or my walk too much to compensate for him, but I'm just helping him every now and then. And this puppy here is going number 2, so he's a little bit interested. Good boy. Hey, how you doing? Good boy. This will be a good time to redirect him and we'll cross the street to make it easy, right? So he wants, good boy, I know. He wants to play with a small pup, but they're a little too small. Hi, little pup. Good boy. So we'll go ahead and cross the street to make it easy for him. I know, good boy. You're too big to play with that one, bud. Come on. Good boy. I know, good job. And all I did there was just slowly walk towards the other end, making sure that there wasn't any traffic coming. Good boy. Mocha. Yes. Good. And sit. Good. So now he can see the other pup, and because he's a little bit further away and focused on me, and they're still trying to play a little bit, but not too bad. Good boy. That was just a good pressure test of the setup there. It was very easy to control him even when he was super excited there and tried to go and play with the pup. And we'll let them have a little bit of space so he doesn't pull too much. And then we're gonna also try to just casually keep walking by them. Well, this is good because now he's got something of interest and he's definitely a little bit more excited. Good boy. He did well though. In those cases too, it's good to let people know because he is so big. You're gonna make a boundary here because of the signs. It's good to let people know because he is so big and they may misread him barking and lunging for anything aggressive. I think she knew, so it was okay, but it's always good to double check and just give people that reassurance because we know him and his temperament, but other people may not, and he is a pretty big dog, so good boy. All right, so they went back in. And he'll probably calm down here again. Yep. All right, at least we got one good instance recorded here on the walk. Hopefully we'll get more during the day. Probably at the pet store, maybe at the Lowe's too. There's usually other people working with their pups, or probably just bringing their pups in there as well. But I know the one up in our shopping center is pretty good because they actually hold little events for dogs, training events and times like that. So that's really good. It's good having positive places that he can kind of be out and interact with other dogs and other people. It's good practice outside of just the neighborhood. The neighborhood is great because it's very close and you can get to know your neighbors and their dogs pretty quickly, depending on the size of the neighborhood and how far you're walking. But the stores inside are great for especially these hot summer months. And get some AC and not worry so much about him overheating. Oh, we got another family coming by with their Doberman. This will give a good opportunity to show how he reacts to different pups too, and different excitement levels. Because I know that this Doberman and their family, he is very good about staying and maintaining on a tight heel and super focused. He's gonna maybe glance, but he's not gonna stare, and he's definitely not going to pull towards him or anything. So it'd be good practice for him. Got a couple good instances coming in. So what we're gonna do this time is pay close attention to him, and if he starts to get too excited, walking back towards the other way to break the line of sight or calling his name. We can be really preemptive and getting him to sit, stay, and focus on us before the pup comes. But I really want to see him kind of work through it out on his own and maintain his composure. Good morning. Yeah, good boy. Right, so he's a little excited. The other dog's checking him out too. Good boy. Good job, big guy. Good boy. So you can see it's a little bit easier for him to maintain composure because the other dog is so well composed. He's still a little bit interested in following, but nowhere near the same reaction, right, of like when he wanted to play with the puppy. So that was really good. Good boy. So I'm gonna try to get his attention back here. Mocha, oh, he's a little tangled up. I'll move towards him a little bit. All right, there we go. But that was really good. Okay, he sees the pup. Mocha. Yes, very good. And sit. Good job, big guy. Very good. I think your mom will be proud. I'm proud of you. All right. We're almost back to our street now, so I'm gonna go ahead and cut the recording. I think that'll probably be the last instance that we run into. We'll see how he does here, just kind of going by. Good boy. Right? Oh, I know. So he definitely wants to play. He's got a little bit of that cry there, but we're gonna just kind of continue walking here. Our turn is coming up. There you go. Aw. I know, bud. They can't play right now. Good boy. Yes, good refocus. And sit. You got stuff on your face. Oh, he's still checking out the other pup. Good boy. Good sit. Yes.